The next technique that we gonna study is gonna be about trigonometric integral. The trigonometric integral come from the trigonometric identity. You have sine square x plus cosine square x equal to 1. Okay, you have secant square x minus tan square x equal to 1, and you have cosec square x minus cot square x equal to 1. So the thing that we're gonna use them to integrate turn out to be the power of sine and cosine. So it's gonna be the integral of the form sine to the mx cosine to the nx. Okay, so we'll be able to use this identity in order to integrate the power of sine and cosine, and you'll be able to use secant to integrate the power of secant and tan x. Okay, and you'll be able to use this guy to integrate the power of cosec and cotan. So it's going to be cosec to the mx cot to the nx. So we're gonna have like a three kind of trigonometric integral in order to integrate here. So let's begin the first one. The first one is you like to integrate sine to the mx cos to the nx dx. So you're gonna have two cases. If the power of sine or the cosine are odd, we'll be able to integrate this one quite easy. So the thing that I wrote down here is gonna be if the power of sine is odd, you're gonna let u to be cos x. If the power of cos is odd, you're gonna let u to be sine x. So that is gonna be the key thing. So you're gonna may write this one. So the power of sine is odd, you imply that you're gonna let u to be cos x, and you gonna let u to be sine x when the power of cos is odd. Okay, so you let u to be sine x. So if you just have this idea, you'll be able to integrate anything basically. So for this one, you like to integrate sine cube. Okay, so you see that this guy is odd power. So this guy turned out to be odd power. So this one is odd power of sine. So it's gonna be, you're gonna let u to be cos x. Okay, so you're gonna let u to be cos x. So that's the key thing. And the next thing that you're gonna know is gonna be, you may write this one in terms of sine. So it's gonna be sine square x square root cos x, and you're gonna have one side here together with dx. Why did I do this one? Because you see that when you have sine cube, so you'll be able to split this one into sine square multiplied with sine. So for this sine square can be changed to 1 minus cos square. So this one you use trig identity. So it's going to be 1 minus cos square, and square root cos x stay the same. Okay, and your sine x dx, will be just, you're gonna have du. Okay, so for this one you're gonna have du equal to dip cos, you're gonna get negative sine x dx. Okay, so du equal to negative sine x dx. So you get sine x dx here turn out to be equal to minus du. So it's going to be minus du. Okay, so it's going to be minus du. And you have u equal to cos x. So u equal to cos x, so it's going to be cos square. And you have u here. So this one will be this guy and this guy. So you would get integrate. Okay, so okay. So you get integrate 1 minus u square, and you have square root u, and you have negative du. Okay, and you see that it's going to be integrate u square root minus u to the 5 over 2 du, and you have negative side outside. Okay, and so you're gonna integrate this one. So you integrate square root u, so you get u to the 3 half over 3 half, and you integrate u to the 5 over 2, so you get u to 7 over 2, 7 over 2, and you plus c. Okay, so this is how we obtain this integral of power of sine and cosine, and you'll be able to obtain the final answer in terms of x by plugging u back. So you have u equal to cos x in this case. So you're gonna plug u back. Okay, so you have u equal to cos x. So this guy will be, let me move this term up a little bit so I can have some space to work with. So you see that for final answer, you're gonna get negative 2/3, okay? And this one turned out to be positive. So it's gonna be negative 2/3 cos x to the 3 half plus 2/7 cos x to the 7 over 2 plus c. Okay, so this one, you have your final answer in this form. I have positive sign here because negative times negative become positive. Okay, so this is the thing that you have. The next one, you like to integrate cosine to the fifth. Okay, cosine to the fifth, in this case, you have odd power. Okay, so you have odd power, and this guy 5 turned out to be 4 plus 1. Okay, so for this one, the way that we're gonna do, we're gonna write this one in terms of integrate of cos to the fourth times cos x dx. Okay, and everything will be over sine square. And you see that this guy is equal to cos x dx. So when you have cosine is the odd power, you're gonna let u to be sine x. Okay, so you're gonna let u to be sine x. Let me enlarge this one. So I let u to be sine x, and you have du equal to dip sine, you get cos x dx. So this term become, okay, so this term become du, and cos to the fourth, you need to change into sine. So this one will be u square on the bottom. And you need to change cos to the fourth into sine. So let's work on cos to the fourth here. So for dealing with cosine to the fourth, we're gonna know that cosine to the fourth can be written as cosine square square. Okay, so it is cosine square square, and this term turned out to be du. Let me write du, and this guy turned out to be u square. Okay, on the bottom. Now, what is cos square? So you have cos square. Cos square turned out to be 1 minus sine square. Okay, so this one can be just 1 minus sine square. So it's going to be 1 minus sine square x square dx, not dx, du over u square. Okay. And what is sine? Sine is equal to u. Okay, so here u equal to sine x. Okay, u equal to sine x. So it's turned out to be integrate 1 minus u square over u square du, and everything turned out to be square here. Okay. And so this is what the term that I should highlight, right? So u equal to psi x. So this one turned out to be u squared. And then in order to integrate this term, so you're gonna expand, okay? So you're gonna expand this one. So you're gonna expand this one, you get 1 minus 2u squared plus u squared square, okay? So you would get integrate of 1 minus 2u squared plus u to the fourth over u squared du. So you're gonna just have integrate 1 over u squared, okay, minus 2 plus u squared du, and this allows you to get negative 1 over u minus 2u plus u cubed over 3 plus c. Okay, so it's going to be negative 1 over u minus 2u plus u cubed over 3 and plus c. So this is, I need to draw some line, okay, to avoid confusing here. And then what? And then at the end, you're gonna put u equal to psi x back. Put u equal to psi x. Okay, so this guy will be 1 over psi x negative, okay, minus 2 psi x plus psi x to the third over 3, and you're gonna plus c. Okay, so that's all. Okay, so this is how you obtain the final answer. So it's kind of you change the variable and you obtain the integral of power function, and you be able to integrate as power function. So it's going to be combination of power function, and then you're going to plug u back equal to psi x or equal to cosine x accordingly. So the substitution that you perform is going to be at this line. Okay, so you see that everything in terms of u at this line, and you perform just the substitution. You must know which one is going to be u equal to psi or u equal to cosine. This is the case when you have the even power of function. Sorry, this is the odd power of the given function. The next one, you see, you're not gonna see any sine, any cosine that is gonna be to the odd or to the even function yet. Okay, so this one is gonna turn out to be negative. However, we be able to obtain some power of sine and cosine by the trick that we have learned before, that this number one, okay, this number one turned out to be just sine square plus cosine square. Okay, so it's going to be sine square x plus cosine square x over cos x sine square x dx. So you see that you end up with changing sine square plus cos square is going to be 1, okay? And for this one, you'll be able to split this guy into two terms. So it's going to be sine square x cos x sine square x, okay? Plus you have cos square x over cos x sine square x dx, okay? And you see that this one turned out to be just sine and sine square, sine square and sine square cancel. So you would obtain integral of, okay, integral of 1 over cos x dx. And another term turned out to be, you have cos square cancel with cos, so you end up with integrate cos x over sine square x dx. So when you like to integrate cos x over sine square x, Let's do the green one first. Integrate 1 over cos x is going to be integrate of secant x. And you have the formula for this guy, which is log absolute sec plus 10. Okay, so this is the integrate secant. Another term will be, you're going to integrate cos x over sine square x. So this one, you may see that this one is going to be cos x over sine x times 1 over sine x. If you see this one, you may not have to use the substitution. So this guy will be cot x cosec x dx, and you integrate cot times cosec is going to be negative cosec x. Okay, so you dip negative, so it's going to be negative cosec x, and you're going to plus c, and this one will be your final answer, sec x plus 10x. Okay, so this one will be just geometry. Okay, however, if you not use trig identity, okay, here to here is going to be just trig identity. If you not use trig identity, the thing that you may do is going to be you can use substitution. Or I'm going to say or, when you like to integrate cos x over sine square x dx, you're gonna begin by let u to be sine x. Okay, so you can let u to be sine x. Why? Because this one is cos to the first, so it's going to be odd power. So you let u to be opposite guy, so it's going to be sine x. And you compute du, it's going to be cosine x dx. Okay, so for this one, you do the substitution. So it's going to be integrate 1 over u squared du, and you get negative 1 over u. So it's going to be negative 1 over sine x. So it's going to turn out to be cosec anyway. Okay, so this one is going to be 1 over sine x plus c. So it's going to be negative cosec x plus c, similar to the thing that we use trig identity. Okay, so we can do by the trig identity, or you can do this one by just the substitution. It doesn't matter, it's gonna give you the end result, the same thing. The next one will be the thing that we have to deal with when the power of sine and cosine are both even in this case. So if the power of sine and cosine are both even, we're going to use sine square equal to 1 minus cos 2x over 2, and uh, cos square equal to 1 plus cos 2x over 2. Okay, so we use this guy in order to integrate. So for example, you like to integrate sine square x dx. So in this case, you're gonna have change this guy into 1 minus cos 2x over 2. So you see that it's quite simple. So you change this one into 1 minus cos 2x over 2 dx. And you have nothing much to do. So you're gonna be just 1/2 and integrate 1 minus cos 2x dx. And you have 1/2, integrate 1, you get x, integrate cos, you would get sine 2x over 2 plus c. Okay, so this is your final answer. So you see that you change from even power. So you have the even power here. Okay, and you change this guy by using trig identity. So you use trig identity. So you have sine square given by 1 minus cos 2x over 2. Okay, so this is the thing that you did, and you'll be able to integrate because you not have the power anymore, and integrate cos 2x is just very simple. Integrate cos 2x turn out to be just sine 2x over 2, and you obtain the final answer. So you see that you change from square into double angle. So normally in this one, we're gonna call this guy change to double angle. Okay, so we change to double angle in order to integrate. And you recall that integrate cos 2x equal to sine 2x over 2, and integrate sine 2x is going to be negative cos 2x over 2. So that's the basic one. Okay. The next one, you like to integrate cos to the fourth dx. Okay, so you see this one is going to be the even power of cosine again. So you're gonna change cos to the fourth. Okay, so we'll not be able to deal with cos to the fourth directly. So you're gonna change this one into cos square x square dx. Okay, and you're gonna use the trig identity. So you have cos square. Okay, so you have cos square. So you would get integrate 1 plus cos 2x over 2 square dx. Okay, so 1 minus 1 plus cos 2x over 2 square dx. So this is the blue one. Okay, and then you're gonna expand this one. Okay, so here to here, we're gonna expand this guy. So you're gonna see that you're gonna have 1 over 2 square outside, and you just complete the square up there. So it's gonna be 1 plus 2 cos 2x plus cos square 2x dx. Okay, you expand this one, you get 3 terms. And you see that you still have double angle here. Okay, so you still have double angle here. So for this one, you gonna just change this one into, okay, so you're gonna change this guy into 1 plus cos double of 2x. Okay, so it's gonna be double over double. So it's gonna be double of 2x over 2. Okay, so this is how we gonna integrate the green term here. Okay, so you change into the double of the double angle. And the rest of the term you just copy down. So it's gonna be 1/4 integrate 1 plus 2 cos 2x plus this term dx. And then you'll be able to integrate them term by term. So it's going to be 1/4 outside. Integrate 1, you would get x. Integrate 2 cos 2x, so it's going to be 2. Integrate cos, you get sine 2x over 2. Okay. And for the next one, you would integrate 1/2. So you get 1 over 2x. And for the next term, so it's going to be, so this guy, let me write down. So it's going to be 1/2 plus 1/2 cos 4x. Okay, so it is 1/2 plus 1/2 cos 4x. And you integrate 1/2, you get 1/2 x. You integrate 1/2 cos 4x, so you get 1/2 outside, and you get integrate cos, you get sine 4x over 4, and this one you plus c. Okay, so this is how we get this solution. And then what? And then you're gonna have your final answer. So it's gonna be x, okay, and 2 cancel each other. So you get plus sine 2x, okay, and you see that you have another 1/2 x. Let's combine. So it's going to be 3/2 x plus sine 2x. Okay, so this guy and this guy can be combine together. So you have x and 2x, sorry, 1/2 x. And then you get this one is going to be sine 4x over 8. Okay, and then you plus c. Okay, so this is how we obtain the final answer. Okay, so that's all for this example. So you see that this is the thing that we need to combine the term or something. Okay, yeah. So this one is the power of sine, the cosine. The next one will be the power of tan and secant that we gonna do it on the next video.